that have that player that's in for a year and who's really a breakout star, and they only have 1 year left, they trade him. You know, who knows if the A's do go trade Semien, and then they get a good piece in pitching, or they get a good piece to fill in for Semien. Who knows? But there is some ways to approach this to know what exactly Billy Beane is going to have in his mind. It is always unpredictable what he has in mind, but Semien getting an extension is probably going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to say yes. All right, so let's talk about our new player, Matt Olson. We talked into him, and this is where it's crazy. This is where I'm impressed with Olson. 2 months gone of the season, and he hit 36 home runs. Played great defense again. 267 average, which was higher than last year, and 351 on-base percentage. Still was getting good walks, rising up the count. What do you think about Matt Olson, Steven? Matt Olson is one of those guys where I wouldn't be upset if Oakland lets Semien go to extend Matt Olson. That's how confident I feel Matt Olson. Because there's a few guys that play Gold Glove defense and have that type of power upside. I don't know if that makes sense. Power ability, should I say. And being really patient. This guy does strike out a good amount, but he is one of those guys. He is one of those guys that break out and do stuff right. I'm very confident in Olson staying long term. I think he is one of those game-changing faces, important parts of the lineup, important parts of the team. I think he is deserving of an extension as well. You know, this is a difference. I mean, when you see Donaldson and Cespedes, when you saw all that, you can there is not that many guys that hit for that much power, but they're replaceable. You know, because Chapman is otherworldly great in defense, and Olson is too. So these guys in their first year getting Gold Gloves together, you want to keep that core that's working, because you've seen this team or these group of guys win championships in the minor leagues, and they've done it, and they've been playing great together. They know what a winning atmosphere is, and I think with that being said, keep Olson, keep with what's working. Take out those guys that are really being a disturbance in this team, because this can be a team that can end up being a dynasty. You know, I can see that happening. A full year of Chapman, a full year of Olson, because technically it wasn't a full year. It was a 2 months out for Olson. So I think for me, Olson and Chapman in a full year would make a big difference maker as well. Luzardo being a full year, everybody in the same boat, it would be a team to watch out for. And going into Olson, I think Olson stays definitely. It's no question. I think it will be idiotic for the A's to go otherwise. Matt Chapman as well. I think those two are literally Chapman, Murphy, Olson. Those are three locks for next season, and it's really, really hard to think that someone can replace them for Oakland. All right, let's talk about our last guy, Frankie Montas. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. He had that suspension earlier on the year. He was really bummed out from that. He apologized to his teammates. He apologized to the fans. Really wasn't understanding of what was going on and what happened. But definitely one guy to really be proud of and happy about, because he is pitching in the Dominican Republic, I think. Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's pitching somewhere else. I'm sorry. And he's pitching scorelessly out there. So Frankie Montas, 2.2 WAR, or 2.3 WAR, sorry. 2.63 ERA, 3.0 FIP, 103 strikeouts, and 96 innings pitched. Now, when I see what he does, when I see what he's about, he is one of those guys that bring in the best out of the pitching staff. And I think a full year of Luzardo, Puck, Montas, you got Fires coming in, and you can pick your poison. If you can throw in Chris Bassett in there, unless if I'm forgetting someone. I know I'm forgetting someone, but that rotation looks like it's going to be set. You know, Shamanai, there you go. Shamanai is in there. This rotation can quickly become a strength if these guys all get in and do good, you know, because I see these guys throwing in good games. Fires leading the rotation this past year. Next year, it might be a question. Who is going to be the ace? You know, this year when we picked Shamanaya being the wild card starter, you know, you can see Luzardo being in that situation. You can see Puck being in that situation if he shows dominance enough. You can even see freaking Montas, you know. And that is a good problem to have if you have multiple guys doing great. Hopefully they stay healthy. Hopefully they stay good and do the things that they need to do. But it is very much impressive, to say the least, what these guys have in store. Yeah, I mean, Frankie Montas is going to be a free agent around the time Matt Olson is. Getting paid under $1 million. So it's one of those guys you gotta worship for what they're worth right now. And if I have to say something, Montas is definitely one of those guys that really bring in the best in the team. Am I impressed of Montas? I'm overly impressed with what he's done this year. I think he can play really good if he's given a full year. I think he has what it takes to succeed in an atmosphere like this in Oakland, because he pitched very well in Oakland. He was definitely the ace and definitely better than Fires in the start of the season. And do I see him fulfilling that? Who knows, you know? But the health has been an issue for him in the past. He lost the weight, and it seemed like he was keeping himself in shape even when he got that suspension. So he got that full year rest. Luzardo didn't overthrow any innings too, keeping him in the bullpen. Puck, Manaya as well. And then you got Fires dealing with some injuries. I think a year rest. I mean, a little offseason with rest would do him good. So you got guys that are quickly going to be there and throw some innings, and hopefully they can stay healthy. That's the big thing that's going to go in for this rotation. All right, so we're going to play a little game, little small game before we end the show, 30-minute show. Former Oakland A's players that would fit. We're both going to name two, and we're going to go talk about it. One player that I want to go into, Tyler Clippard, who enjoyed a good season this year with Cleveland. What do you think about Tyler Clippard? Well, I mean, I liked him when he pitched with us. I think, when was it? I think it was 2015. Was it 2015? Because I remember we got Casey Meisner for him. Mm-hmm. And Clippard is one of those guys where he's not going to be a superstar anymore. Because when he came to Oakland, he was one of those guys that are really, really valuable with Washington. One of the better relievers for Washington. And then that's when we traded off, Escobar for him, who we just got from that Ben Zobrist trade. Because we got Ben Zobrist and Yunel Escobar I forgot who we gave up. I think it was Scott Kazmir. I want to say it was Kazmir, but I highly doubt it was Kazmir. But for me, Clippard does not fit in this bullpen. And I know we weren't given much time to prepare, but you just said it off of your head. You really, I know if you had a little more time, you wouldn't probably have picked Clippard. But, he did, as well as he pitched this year, I think he wouldn't fit because he would just be a throw-in type of guy. He wouldn't be utilized like how he was in Cleveland. I do not trust him in close games. But his stuff did look better from what I saw. And I don't know. It's a love-hate thing. If they do sign him, if it's cheap enough, I'll be okay with it, I guess. If it's like $1 million or $2 million, anything passing $2 million, I would not be okay with. I think it's a waste of money, and it can go to someone else. Yeah, I mean, as much as it was my idea, I think I wouldn't have signed Clifford. Okay, so you picked Cespedes. You went with the popular answer, yep, because that was one thing that really did go good. And we're not picking Stephen Vogt because Stephen Vogt's going to be in the next topic in the next show next week. So what do you think about Yoenis Cespedes? Well, I picked Cespedes because he is a person that is going to lead with power. You know, one, he's healthy, and that's the big thing. He is worth a lot, so you would definitely need the Mets to take a big pay cut. But do they want to move off from Cespedes? That is the question. If they do, they would be willing to do it. And I think we have the prospects that have enough upside to fill in for Cespedes to make them younger, like Brown, Sky Bolt. You have Dustin Fowler. Guys that are capable in getting that chance every day to really, really help your case to get as much money as you can to fill in for Cespedes. But Cespedes definitely would fit in. He's a veteran that knows how to perform here. He is a veteran that knows how to hit in Oakland. And that's the most important thing. He can play defense. I don't know if he can play defense as well as he used to. I really haven't seen him. And with that injury, because he did have that hamstring injury a number of times when he was in Oakland A even. But he's recently getting it, and he's already past his 30s. Who knows? Probably Cespedes can work out for here, and we can see a big boost in this lineup. And who knows? I mean, we know he still has that great arm. Having an outfield that can have Laureano and Cespedes type arm, that would be amazing to see. So this is me as a fan voting this Cespedes, but I know it's a long shot. But yeah, what do you think, man? I mean, I like it. I like it a lot because we do love the fan favorites. That is mainly what we go for fun. And this show is for fun. We're not going to go into depth yet. I think when it gets closer to the off season, just because there's still games being played in the postseason, we're not really going to go into depth of what we really should do. That's going to come in later. But Cespedes is fun to think about. Definitely fun to think about, especially with this young team. And I think this team could definitely use some very, very big pop. And Cespedes would make the Oakland A's pop and be different. All right, so I picked Lowry for my second pick, just because I feel like that is what the A's typically do, especially with Lowry. You know, Lowry was acquired twice already by Oakland, and it could probably happen again. You know, and the same with the Mets. Probably put Lowry and Cespedes together, and then you really, they really get to move on because they found McNeil. McNeil plays in the outfield. They still have Conforto. Lagares plays good defense in the outfield, and McNeil can play second as well, but they have Robbie Cano already, and I feel, and Pete Alonso does well enough for the power, so do they need Cespedes in there, and do they need Lowry, and that's where it makes it believable, and gives you hope, that the A's can acquire one of these two players. But if I had to pick between the two, I think Lowry would be a must. Full season, I think we know what Lowry is capable of doing. Would he repeat that big 2018 year? Who knows? But he's a guy that knows Oakland. He's a guy that loves playing here. And definitely can see Lowry coming back. What do you think? I think that is the best guy to go for. I should have picked him instead of Cespedes, but I went with my heart because I was a big Cespedes fan. But definitely, very, very, very much, Lowry is a guy that's likable in this situation, especially when you have a second base issue like Oakland does. But a lot of people can disagree with that because they love Noisy and how he came in and really was a show for Oakland, because he did really good defensively. And offensively, he was pretty good too. So who knows? Maybe Noisy proves us wrong, and maybe Oakland is confident with Noisy, and let's go to Barreto and stuff. But there's a lot of guys without options that we're going to go next year. I mean, not next year, next show or a couple of shows, and we're going to talk